and welcome to my YouTube channel DIY with Mini John. I am Nishant and this is my basement workshop. Today I'll do a quick review on one of these laser machines. This particular model is CV-01 Pro by Creality. I have already taken out all the components of this machine from the box and I have attached it. It comes nicely packed in a carton. There are slots for all the components. The machine comes over here, and this white box with some accessories is in this slot. This is for the laser goggles, and this is for Allen keys and some other tools. I will quickly go over all the accessories that comes with this machine. This machine comes in two parts, but after simply tightening these 4 screws, the machine is ready to go. Attach this wire, the main laser head, to a plug over here. This white box contains some of the Allen keys and the rubber feet for the machine. It comes with a SD card, micro SD, and a USB card reader. There are a few zip ties, a tightening bolt for the laser head, small wrench for adjusting the components of this machine, and then there is a user manual and a warranty card. And you also get a few papers and plywood to test out the machine. There are some craft papers, 2 sheets of this 1 mm plywood, and there are some foam sheets also. The power adapter that comes with this machine works on a wide range of voltage. It ranges from 100 to 240. The pin that goes in the wall socket can be removed. There are some extra pins. So depending on the country, whichever pin suits you, you can just plug that onto this adapter. This is the laser head. This is the motherboard. There is a SD card slot, a USB port, and a port for connecting the power adapter. And it only has 2 switches. One is the main power switch and the other one is to command it to start the laser engraving. These 2 motors are for controlling the timing belt for X and Y axis. There is no Z axis in this machine as it only works on the flat surfaces. This is for tensioning the belt. Now I will zoom into the laser component and I'll show you what all parts are there. This is the safety cover for the laser. It simply reduces the intensity of laser that you would be viewing if you look at the machine while it's engraving. This is not to be considered as the primary safety device, it's just an add-on. This is the tightening bolt for moving the laser head up and down. Since it does not have any automatic Z axis, you have to do that manually. So to do that, you have to loosen the bolt over here and then gradually move the laser head up and tighten it again. This is the focusing lever. You have to put your engraving material below this and then you have to loosen the bolt and bring it down until this rod touches the surface of that material. Then you have to tighten the bolt and make sure to pull the rod up or it will interfere with your engraving. So the distance between this surface and the laser head is now perfect for focusing. This, as I had explained, is the motherboard. After you switch on the main switch for the power, if you press this switch once, it will give you an outline of the area that you are going to engrave, and when you press it again, it will command the machine to start the engraving. This part contains a small cooling fan that is for cooling the laser head and the chip above it. And I have turned the machine around, and in front of this cooling fan you can take a carbon filter and insert it. To do that, we have to actually turn the machine upside down. And when this exhaust works, it extracts the fume directly from the nozzle of the laser and it will absorb most of the fumes and smoke. So our laser will run cleaner and it will also run cooler. This is the second machine in this series by Creality. The first one was CV-01. There are some major differences between these 2 machines. I will quickly explain what are the main differences. First of all, In CV-01, instead of this all around laser enclosure, there was just a flat sheet of acrylic. So this provides better safety. There was no focusing rod on that machine. You had to manually focus the laser head itself onto your engraving. And there was no fume extraction in that machine. This one has a fume extraction as well. And the other major difference is that this machine includes a USB port. So when you are using some software like Lightburn, you can directly send your engraving instead of transferring it to an SD card and then using it manually. Another difference is that this machine has no limit switches. The previous model had a limit switch. This machine, when it reaches 0 point, the motors will reduce the speed and still make a humming sound, but the machine will not move any further. Now before we go ahead and put this machine to use, I would like to talk about safety issues that come while using such a machine. This particular machine uses a class 4 blue-violet laser. Even though it's a 1.6 watt laser, it's enough to cause permanent damage to your eyes. Make sure to read and understand all the safety instructions that are included in the Creality manual, and never remove the acrylic guard from the laser head. Make sure to use the safety goggles that come with the machine, and if you are using it without a proper laser enclosure, make sure that no one else walks in the room without laser safety goggles. I will explain the specifications of this machine. The laser head is a semiconductor laser of power 1.6 watt. It's a blue-violet laser. The machine itself is rated at 36 watt of power. That means the power that is consumed in the motherboard, the motors, and the laser head. The power adapter converts the main voltage into a 12 volt DC current. The engraving area for this machine is 170 by 200 mm. As usual, this machine accepts and understands G-code, but the software that comes with this machine can understand image files only. So you cannot import a DXF or DWG or any other vector file directly into the software. You will have to convert it into an image file, and that image file can be converted into G-code. The softwares that you can use for making G-code are the Creality software that comes with this machine, Laser GRBL, that's an open source software, and Lightburn, that's a paid software. The materials that can be used with this machine are paper, wood, MDF, plywood, acrylic, leather, and fabric. You should be aware that cutting some materials with laser can produce toxic fumes, so research well before you put some new material on the machine. Now for the digital specs of this machine, the supplied Creality software does not work on a Mac system, it only works on a Windows system. If you are a Mac user, then you will have to get Lightburn and then use a paid license to make G-code for this machine. I will make another part of this video where I'll explain how the software works and how you can create G-code and what are the various settings that you can change to work on various different materials. We will make some basic samples on wood, plywood, acrylic, and leather. Another thing to understand about this machine is that since it's a low power laser machine, it's not going to do much of cutting. It's mostly for engraving. So if you intend to cut acrylic or MDF sheets or thin plywood, then this machine is not going to be of any use for you. Though you can achieve some cut by increasing the number of passes, but the cut will not be very clear and it will cause a lot of burnout. The supplied card, the microSD, contains the Creality software for making G-code. It also contains Laser GRBL and settings for Lightburn software. It also has some pre-made G-code files to try out on various materials and some videos to set up the machine. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. It will motivate me to keep making such content. I'll make two more parts of this video. One would be making samples in various materials and another would be making a laser enclosure for this machine to increase the safety. Thanks again and see you soon.